Welcome to the GameItAll.com live podcast. My name is Lucas Grimm.
Hey, I'm Pino25.
I'm Adelaris.
With the cat ears.
What the hell, dude?
I'm adorable.
It's his new thing, you know?
The thing is that he's
I paid almost $200 for these. I will freaking show them off.
So,
and I waited a year because I
And
actually.
you know what? I got sheeps in the background. I got all sorts of crap in the background. So whatever. It's you gotta have your thing. So.
You know, when they said to use sheepskin condom, you're supposed to take it out of the sheep first.
I don't have anything like that.
Oh, Jesus. Right.
So, we're going to try to keep this actually a relatively short news day because despite everything that's happened, I mean, we have Black Friday deals going on. We got
Steam sale
going on. Oh yeah, by the way, happy Thanksgiving to our American friends.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, so yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on right now, but right now there's several real big things that are happening, especially within the last couple weeks that hit the gaming industry. So we really kind of want to focus on that. We'll probably still end up being our regular time, but we're probably going to be arguing and bitching about this for a little bit.
Yeah, but when are we not bitching?
Oh, we bitch all the time.
Because we love bitching. That's our thing.
Bitch,
So let's.
bitch.
I try to enjoy life.
All right. So let's start this whole bitch fest.
No, let's not start the bitch fest, Jesse.
All right. Let's start the news with.
Go into the bitching.
All right. We'll start with something awesome.
Yeah. So let's start with a sequel to a game I didn't expect a sequel to. We're probably going to be arguing and bitching about this for. The hell was that?
I don't know.
That would probably be.
Oh,
Auxiliary ears still on. Hold on.
His fancy accessory. All right.
Your fancy headsets.
I actually turned on the external speakers and it was blasting right into the mic.
All right. So let's do some retro awesomeness.
So let's talk about the sequel to a game I did not expect a sequel for, Retro City Rampage.
Nice title.
We are getting a 16-bit sequel to Retro City Rampage called Shakedown Hawaii.
Oh, hell yeah.
Obviously, that's a play on Denton Games' Hotline Miami.
Well, and also it's their version of GTA Vice City.
That too.
To go down Hawaii, down south. So it's gonna be awesome because the first one was amazing. So
the first one was great, and 16-bit looks amazing.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to feature destructible environments along with an arsenal of supercharged weapons, and will continue its homage to various games and movies. So pretty much what's going to happen is that the player is going to come out of retirement.
Oh yeah.
And it looks great just from the little bit that we've seen from the announcement trailer, which is actually live on the website right now.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it looks great. I can't wait to see it. It's going to be playable at the PlayStation Experience, which is actually
Soon.
next weekend.
Yeah.
December 5th through 6th. So I'm going to be busy that weekend. There's going to be a lot of news coming from there. The PlayStation Experience, they usually have some big titles in that area.
That's the problem.
And that's usually if they don't announce a game at Tokyo Game Show or E3, they'll announce it at that point, at that show. And I'm expecting to hear something God of War-ish because God of War is having its 10th anniversary this year.
Yeah, and there's.
Oh wow, yeah, that's true. Huh?
10 years of God of War. So,
Awesome.
fucking, that's amazing, personally. Because I remember that being the first game I played on PS2.
2006.
Was it really 2006? Like, what?
When was it? It's because the latest trailer, they did show like a special statue, and then they said 10 years at the end of it. So.
Pretty sure it's older than 2006.
Yeah, I was about to say 2006. The PS3 was out.
Yeah, it was.
Or just about out. Yeah.
Yeah, it was. Oh, it came out in 2005. It came out at the end of the lifespan of PS2 really being their top-notch
March
system.
22nd, 2005.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's a year off. So.
Yeah.
So it's already been 10 years.
It's already been 10 years, but we're finally getting some stuff from it, and
yeah.
I'm expecting to hear a PS4 God of War.
Well, yeah, because they haven't released a new God of War game since Ascension came out in 2013.
Exactly.
So it's about time. And I remember when the original God of War came out, I thought it was just going to be a one game thing, and it was just going to be what it was. No,
it made way too much money to be.
Oh, I know. I know. Sony was like, "Oh, well, we're going to make another one," and then they just kept rolling with it.
But it doesn't have what was his name, Jeff?
Yeah, it didn't have David Jaffe.
Jaffe, there we go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He made the game, the original game, so it did have the backing of, hey, the creator of Twisted Metal made another game. Here you go.
Helped.
So yeah, that's I'm expecting to hear a lot of stuff at PlayStation Experience. Hopefully, we're going to get some really cool stuff. And speaking of stuff that's going to be happening within the next couple weeks.
Side note, no, he did do God of War 2. He was creative director on it.
Okay, well, creative director. He's not the actual director. He just,
Still.
We fall back
the ideas.
It happens.
He was there. All right, let's continue on.
So we have another thing that's happening next week. Actually, it's going to be happening Thursday. So we're probably going to be, because we're actually going to be moving the podcast. I'm going to say this now and remind people later. We are actually going to move the podcast to Fridays at the same time. Mainly because it just works much better. So we're actually going to have all this information as it happens for Thursday, December 3rd, which is the Game Awards, the second annual Game Awards, which was produced by Jeff Knightley. How do you pronounce his name? I
don't know. Wasn't it Jeff Keighley?
Jeff Keighley, there it is, Keighley. I don't know why.
Yeah.
That's the name I was about to say a while ago when I was talking about Jaffe, and I'm like, that's not right.
So, there's this year, looking at the Game of the Year awards, there's quite a few that make sense to be on this list. First off, we'll talk about the actual Game of the Year award.
Oh, that one's hard.
This one is hard. I agree that all of these should be nominated at least.
Well, yeah, they were all amazing platform. They were all amazing games.
Exactly. So you have Bloodborne from Software, Fallout 4, Metal Gear Solid 5, Phantom Pain, Super Mario Maker, and Witcher 3.
Yeah.
Even we're talking about Game of the Year awards, it pretty much lines up with that right now.
Yeah.
Just our basic discussions.
Yeah.
Developer of the Year is going to Bethesda, CD Projekt Red, From Software, Konami, and Nintendo. So pretty much, or Kojima Productions, sorry.
Kojima Productions doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah, they could still be.
I know.
For Developer of the Year. I mean, that would be a good send-off. Your company got, canned. We're going to give you Developer of the Year.
Yeah, it's like you got screwed by your parent company. Here,
I'd like them to win that award just because of that.
Well, yeah, because it's a big old fuck you to Konami.
Independent game, we have Axiom Verge, Her Story, Ori and the Blind Forest, Rocket League, and Undertale.
I loved Undertale, so I really hope they win that category.
I would actually personally go all in for Rocket League.
Oh yeah, it's definitely a wider range of taste in that category than the Game of the Year one.
Yeah, definitely. Best mobile is going for Downwell, Fallout Shelter, Lara Croft Go, Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate, and Pac-Man 256.
It's
What?
Fallout. It's Pac-Man 256. I don't know.
I don't know what Pac-Man 256 is.
That's the first time I hear about it.
It's an Android iOS game. I don't know. The developer is Hipster Whale.
Hipster Whale. Wow.
I don't know. It's gonna be Fallout Shelters. I don't give a flying.
I could see Fallout Shelter being the big winner.
Because people, how many hours did people lose to Fallout Shelters?
Too many.
There you go.
Best narrative is Her Story, Life is Strange, Tales from the Borderlands, Witcher 3, and Until Dawn.
That one's hard.
That one is hard. Best art direction, Batman Arkham Knight, Bloodborne, Metal Gear Solid 5, Ori and the Blind Forest, and Witcher 3.
Probably Witcher.
That one's difficult, because I really love Bloodborne's art. So I want to see Bloodborne win it, but I could see Witcher or Metal Gear, or actually Witcher or Bloodborne being the main ones.
Yeah, because while Witcher was...
Blind Forest looked beautiful, too.
Yeah. Witcher was pretty.
It really, at least as far as when it comes down to art, it's which one stands out the most.
Yeah.
And like, personally, I'm not a fan of Bloodborne, but I do recognize that they did a lot right with that game, especially for people who love games that are hard but not impossible, like the NES hard type.
Yeah. Well, coming from Dark Souls and Demon Souls, they really did something similar but different. So
yeah. Plus, like the monster designs they had were like they really stand out, and they're all pretty unique. Like there's not many games where you're fighting a monster, and a little bit of you, like even if you're used to it, you're still legit terrified of the monster.
Yeah, it has that same fear as Dragon's Dogma.
If you're not terrified of the monster, you're not doing it right. That's the thing. So that's like definitely out of boss battles I've seen this year. Bloodborne is 100%.
Bloodborne is just one boss battle after another because even the normal enemies are friggin' hard.
Yeah, pretty much, more or less. Really.
Best score: Fallout 4, Halo 5, MGS 5, Phantom Pain, Ori and the Blind Forest, or The Witcher 3.
All of which are amazing scores. So
I know
going to be really hard.
And just the music in Fallout, like that old vintage 50s doo-wops and just...
Before, do we have that category for GIA?
Yeah, we do. We have best. We have two different categories: best soundtrack overall and best song.
Yeah, best original song.
Make sure, like, once they start getting narrowed down, let me know what the list is. I'd actually like to YouTube some of them because I haven't actually played Metal Gear. Before I want to put in my vote on it, I want to hear.
Metal Gear's music is absolutely fucking phenomenal. Yeah. I will say.
Wow, it's Metal Gear. They usually have this amazing orchestra over the top.
I'm a big time sucker for meaty type songs. So again, with Undertale, I had a big nostalgia trip too with their music because it's all original composition, but it would immediately fit in place on the Super Nintendo as far as the music went. So that's another one I would toss in there as well. So really, a lot of it comes down to is like what music is the most memorable because even when you compare like older games to newer games and such like that, like how many new games do you actually significantly remember the score after you stop playing? Like Fallout's intro theme, you recognize it to start with, but then it's all new after the intro, it's like the best version of their song they've done to date. Whereas if you play something like, I don't know, like I was gonna say something like Metal Gear, not the full game that came out, but the demo, like Ground Zero or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't remember a single thing off that.
No.
So like, it was good when I was playing it, but a lot of it comes down is it memorable? Does it stay with you? So that's another key point I usually try to tell people when they're trying to, make those sort of decisions. Because like, even if you're like trying to choose game of the year or whatever, choose something that has staying power, not just something that you liked at the time, which is hard to deviate from.
Yeah,
exactly. So moving on, we have best performance, which of course is the character acting pretty much. Ashley Birch as Chloe Price in Life is Strange. Camellia Luddington as Lara Croft, Rise of the Tomb Raider. Doug Cockle as Geralt, The Witcher 3. Mark Hamill as the Joker, Batman Arkham Knight. And Vivian Seifert for Her Story.
Mark Hamill's going to be freaking hard to beat because, as far as most people are concerned, he is the Joker. So,
yeah.
We for Game and All, we actually separate performance for best male, best female.
Yeah,
I can see Joker pulling ahead on that one.
For male, and for female, I'd like to see Ashley.
Ashley as Chloe. Chloe was a great character. Like.
She's awesome.
I also want to throw Ashley Birch up for Mortal Kombat X being Cassie.
Yeah,
she did a fucking great job.
I love that. Like,
it surprised me that it was her because I know her from Hey Ash, What You Playing? So,
I love Jen Taylor as Cortana.
Thanks to her role as Tiny Tina.
Yeah,
it's fucking great.
Yeah, like personally, like for voice actors, I really like the voice actor for Cortana, but the Halo 5 script was definitely not as good as the previous one.
Yeah, it could have been better.
It could have been better. Great game, but I feel like it took a misstep with a couple things.
So,
but there's still another one in the field, so we'll wait for that.
So we have Games for Change as the next category. So that's a game that makes a social point or a major point. That's Sabelle, Her Story, Life is Strange, Sunset, and Undertale. Best Shooter is Call of Duty Black Ops 3, Destiny Taken King, Halo 5 Guardians, Splatoon, and Star Wars Battlefront.
COD or Splatoon?
COD or Splatoon?
It's definitely one of those two because Splatoon is definitely one that came in from left field and it really changed the rules on how you play in FPS.
Yeah,
whereas on the other
rule breakers when it comes to
whereas on the other side, as much as people hate COD, it's the #1 shooter for a reason. People are buying it. So.
And if Star Wars would have had a single player, I would have bought it.
But that conversation soon, actually. So that thought.
Well, and my also other tidbit is whatchamacallit, the Ark Survival Evolve on the PC is selling better than better than Star Wars. So
yeah, but
I was reading some reviews on the Star Wars, and a lot of people are saying that it kind of fits a weird category where you'll still play it, it's still fun, but you feel there's something still missing from it, and you can't always pinpoint what it is, which is kind of odd.
Weird.
Yeah, because usually, like, if a game is missing something big, like for example, the last gen version of COD, there's no single player.
Well, yeah.
But like in Battlefield, they never really announced it was going to be one, so you weren't expecting it, regardless. But even when you're playing the multiplayer mode, it feels like you're playing a movie, but there's still something off on it, and I was never able to pinpoint what it was.
You know.
So, I hate to cut you guys off because that is a great conversation, but I want to get through the rest of it.
All right. Which one is next?
Action adventure, we have Assassin's Creed Syndicate, Batman Arkham Knight, Metal Gear Solid 5, Ori and the Blind Forest, and Rise of the Tomb Raider.
It's probably either Tomb Raider or Assassins.
Yeah, I can't tell on this one. Metal Gear is also a really good one, but I don't want to see Konami win as much.
Tomb Raider was absolutely gorgeous from what I've seen.
Exactly.
Just freaking amazing.
So, best role-playing, we have Bloodborne, Fallout 4, Pillars of Eternity, Witcher 3, and Undertale. Undertale's got a lot of awards here so far.
Oh yeah, like it's a sleeper hit. Like a lot of people were like, "What's this? What's that?" It was more word of mouth, and
True.
But it's, as far as its story go, if you play the passive run, it was really good at hitting both. Like if you're a little bit of like an emotional player, like you like to get invested, it did really good at getting you tied to the character, but also keeping that nostalgia of older retro games at the same time. So as far as story specifically goes, that's a hard one to beat. But again, Witcher 3 did a really good job, especially like when you're considering all the extra tons of free shit that they threw in that no other game can rival.
Oh yeah.
So that's gonna be hard to beat.
The only one of these that this so far has been the only category I had problems with here. Best fighting game. Guilty Gear Xrd Sign, Mortal Kombat X, Rise of Incarnates, which is a game that is canceled now. It was an online-only game from the guys that made Tekken and Soul Calibur, and
why?
Bandai Namco shut it down.
Why is it there?
No idea. Rising Thunder is the other game from Radiant Entertainment, and that is, I don't think, is even completely finished, if I remember right. I've only heard very, very little information on it.
Yeah, I don't know. It's.
But yeah, I'll have to look into that again. But it seems off a little bit, but it could be that the reason why Rise of Incarnates is on there is because they needed to fill out the rest of the list. There wasn't a whole lot.
There wasn't a whole lot, but again, Mortal Kombat is really hard to beat. They
yeah.
They did good with that one.
Best family game, we have Disney Infinity 3.0, Lego Dimensions, Skylanders, Superchargers, Splatoon, and Super Mario Maker.
Both the Nintendo ones are going to be hard to beat.
Yeah. Sports racing is FIFA, Forza Motorsport, NBA, Pro Evolution Soccer, Rocket League. Best multiplayer, Call of Duty Black Ops, Destiny, Halo 5, Rocket League, Splatoon. And here we have the more random ones that they have. Most anticipated game, Horizon Zero Dawn, No Man's Sky, Quantum Break, The Last Guardian, Uncharted 4.
It's No Man's Sky.
Yeah, I'll give that one. Quantum Break.
I could see The Last Guardian getting that too. I mean, Last Guardian's been anticipated for, what, close to 7 years now?
Yeah, the problem is I'm at the point where I will believe it's coming out when I have it in my hands.
Yeah.
So, Esports Player of the Year, we have Kenny S. for Counter-Strike Global Offensive, Faker for League of Legends, Ulfmeister for Counter-Strike Global Offensive, PPD, Dota 2, and Suma1L for Dota 2.
What class was that?
Esports Player of the Year.
Oh, it's pretty much League of Legends. They're the biggest one.
Well, yeah, right now, can't get bigger than League.
Yeah, it really depends on who. Like, I don't follow esports as much as I probably should, so I don't really recognize these names right off.
Yeah.
So I can't say exactly, but it all depends on what they're playing for the game and how good they actually are.
It also depends on what their voting process is too. But generally speaking, whichever one brings the biggest amount of fans and the biggest amount of money in their prize pots, which League of Legends does easily.
So we have Esports Team of the Year as well for going to Evil Geniuses, Bantic, Optic Gaming, SK Telecom T1, and Team Solo Mid.
Okay.
Esports Team of the Year, Call of Duty Advanced Warfare, Counter-Strike Global Offensive, Dota 2, Hearthstone, Heroes of Warcraft, and League of Legends. Trending gamers, we have Total Biscuit, Christopher Montecristo Michaels, Greg Miller, Markiplier, and PewDiePie. And finally, the last one that we have is Best Fan Creation, few GTA mods, Real GTA by Corridor Digital, Portal Stories Mel from Prism Studios, Super Mario Maker E levels, which was a added level for Super Mario Maker, and Twitch Plays Dark Souls.
Actually, you know what? I'm legit impressed about Twitch Plays Dark Souls because on paper, there's no way that should have worked, and they beat the game. There's no way that should have worked.
They succeed, but they succeeded.
Yeah, that has to win.
Honestly, I'm surprised Bob Ross isn't on that list.
Can you pronounce Markiplier's name again?
Markiplier?
Markiplier?
I've been told by like 20 people that's Markiplier. It's Markiplier?
It's Markiplier. It's a joke on pair pliers.
Fuck all you guys.
Bob Ross is not fan created.
True.
He is. They just added the video up on Twitch. It's not like they created Bob Ross.
That being said, he is awesome and deserves some kind of award.
Well, yeah.
So yeah, that's the Game of the Year list, and like a lot of it looks legit, makes sense. I like Game of the Year. Holy crap, that one's going to be difficult. And like just to say, like I'm not sure who's going to win that one, and even us, I'm having a hard time even compiling my list.
I know.
Which, by the way,
I know.
Send you guys all the emails to say how to set it up again, once again for this year. First reminder.
Cool.
So let's talk about the problem with the online games right now, online only games. We were starting that with Battlefront. Your argument about Battlefront there.
They're stupid.
So I'm assuming you guys seen what happened earlier this week. We had the frontman for Breaking Benjamin fucking snapping the disc because EA wanted them to promote the game.
Yeah, he rage quit.
He just destroyed the disc, and he was like, "The game is shit." I'm like, "Wow, that's
which game again?
a Battlefront."
Battlefront. Oh, okay.
So this is his actual statement. What he said: they wanted to pay me to post that I like this shit game. They can shove it up their ass. This sucks, and I'd rather watch the god-awful prequels than to play this piece of shit one more second. That's for ruining Star Wars, EA. And yeah, like here, I'll go to the screen share here.
Yeah, personally, I wouldn't say it's a bad game, but for what they promised, there's something missing, and a lot of people just can't pinpoint what it is.
There it is, the cracked disc. Just he fucking destroyed that shit. And like, admittedly, I didn't play Battlefront, so I don't know how good, how bad. As of yet, I'm still planning to pick it up at some point in time once I know that things are leveled out and I can judge the game based on its actual gameplay rather than its server quality.
Yeah, well, it's pretty, but that's it.
Yeah.
It's the whole Crisis thing. It's like Crisis. It's pretty, but
it doesn't do much.
Yeah, because it's multiplayer. That's it. It's COD multiplayer, but no single player.
I feel like they tried to take the approach that Titanfall did, where it's only playable online and that's it. And I don't think there's many games that can do that, at least in terms of like just that specific game type, because there's not a whole lot to branch out from with FPS. Whereas if you're playing with MOBA or something, you can get almost a different experience every match you play. But once you get tired of the multiplayer, there's nothing else added to the game. So, I mean, does anybody even talk about Titanfall anymore? And that's not even an old game.
And Titanfall was a new IP, so that's...
Yeah.
They had some leverage, and also it went down in price really quick.
Yeah, it definitely did, and I think the fact that it didn't have much staying power, like, I liked the game. I played it, I owned it. It was the first Xbox One game I ever bought. It was pretty fun to play, but after I got tired of playing just multiplayer, I'm like, I can tell there's a little bit of a backstory to it, but there's no way you can learn from it because you're too busy playing the multiplayer. You can't hear what's going on with the story.
Yeah, that's just it. And I only got it for $5 on Origins, and they gave me the season pass for free. So I was like, okay, cool,
Wow.
I'll take it.
I was screwed.
Yeah, I got the whole deluxe edition for like $5.
Here's the thing. Here's another thing that's happened. As we all know, Rainbow Six went into beta this week.
Yeah, that's gonna fail.
Rainbow Six, I actually have a bit more faith into Rainbow Six than I do for Battlefront, honestly. Because Ubisoft does seem to know that what they want to do with the game and keep it like fresh, because they have the seasons of content that's coming into the game.
Well, and Ubisoft's having a good year this year compared to last year.
Now, yesterday was supposed to be the start of the open beta.
Yes.
And the open beta it started playing, suddenly there was matchmaking problems. And Ubisoft worked hard to try to get it fixed. It could only be fixed by 10 a.m. today.
Ooh.
That kind of sucks because we were actually planning to do a open group Twitch of Rainbow Six Siege. But the problem is that the servers were down. Only me and Mo were in the closed beta originally. So we could still get in because we were in the closed, and that was still open. But not for anyone else.
I think that to me anyways, on a technical standpoint, it sounds like the beta couldn't handle the amount of people trying to get on at all at once. So...
Well, yeah.
It does lead to the problem that's going to happen during actual launch day.
Well, the point of the beta is this exact thing. As a computer technician, if there's any time you want something to fail, the beta is the time for it to happen.
Well, yeah, because you want people to try it out. Because if they would have done this on release day without the beta, we would have had another SimCity.
Or another GTA 5, like nothing works for the first 2 weeks.
Well, yeah.
Exactly. Now, see, because of that situation, I've been following closely with everything that's happening on the forums and following them on Facebook and their social media pages, and I realized something. The worst job you could probably have at any video game company is social media and forum modder.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh my fucking god! I've read everything from fans being like, okay, like us, where we understand you need this is the time for that to happen.
But
people don't understand that,
No.
and what happened is I've read threats from canceling pre-orders of their game.
Yep.
To wishing that the entire team, everyone at Ubisoft, gets AIDS and die.
Yeah.
What the flying fuck, people? I mean,
It's not even it's not even my opinion on this point. If you go that far, especially over a beta, but if you go that far that you're threatening developers or for something you're getting for free, it's just a beta. Calm your tits. If you already pre-ordered, you're getting the game anyways. But if you're trolling or being threatening or whatever, you're not a fan of the game at all. You're a fanatic, or you're just plain psychotic, and that's all there is to it. And honestly, your voice doesn't deserve to be heard if you can't be rational about it.
no, I actually went on to the Ubisoft Facebook page and I posted a thank you to those guys because, I've been following Rocksmith, of course, as you all know, I'm a huge fan of Rocksmith.
Yeah, and they take a lot of shit for no reason at all.
They take so much shit because the DLC is not to the person's liking. That it's like, oh, this DLC is completely awful. I hate this. Why haven't you put insert popular band here?
Yeah.
Why haven't you put fucking Justin Bieber on there or something? I have actually seen that post once.
oh my god, why?
And, yeah, so why haven't you put that on there? And it's just, like, I'm reading it, and all that they can do is post, well, if it's not to your liking, we have a request a song section. They've gone so far out of their way to even make a infographic to show the reason why specific songs, specific bands are not in the game yet. It's either, like, everyone's been contacted. They either want too much money, can't find the original recordings, or they just flat out said no.
Yeah, licensing for those types of games is a nightmare. Like, it's brutally expensive, and they have to balance that. So you can't just stick in whatever's popular, because whatever's popular tends to be the most expensive to get into anything.
Exactly. Which is why, like, for a little while, we did have some DLC that was, was good.
Oh yeah, there was plenty of good ones that like I downloaded at the time I was actually able to use my guitar, but like I definitely understand there was a lot of songs in there that I just plain didn't like. They weren't in my taste, but there was plenty in there that I friggin' loved, like the Alice Cooper ones. Yeah. And obviously you need to go for a wide range when you're going on a game like that. People want to learn how to play, but not everybody. Actually, there are no two people on Earth with the billions of people that have the same musical taste. So
that's
you need to cast a wide net, and people just need to put a cork in their ass and accept that.
Pretty much. It's at this point. Like, if you are, by the way, if you are a forum modder or social media
administrator,
administrator for any of this, we have to apologize as a whole of a gaming industry. Personally, I think, and thank you for your work, because holy fuck, you guys, I would not wish your job to my worst enemy. I hope you're getting paid fairly well, honestly.
Well, yeah, they better be getting paid quite good, because that's
good. At least have some psychiatry was free or something. I don't know.
A free rage relief room.
Pretty
with
much.
Punching bags.
So that's all I want to say there. Rainbow Six Siege is open now. Is at an open beta right now, and is coming out next week, actually.
Mm-hmm.
So
we'll see how that goes with Ubisoft.
Yeah, just before
that's good, because like I said, the fact that they actually do want to push more than a year's worth of content out looks great.
Just before we leave the conversation, though, I've watched the Let's Play Achievement Hunters play a couple rounds of the.
House. Yeah.
Oh my god, I'm totally forgetting English right now. I'm blanking out left and right.
It was Achievement Hunter versus Funhouse.
I'm not 100% sure if that's what it was, but they were playing Siege, and compared to the previous version, this one does look like a game that I would play. I may or may not buy it, depending on financial situation, but it definitely looks very much improved and a lot more fun, because when you get a closer map like that with blowing up walls and like everything is destructible, it makes for a much more intense but fun short game.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not expecting those matches to go on very long, but from what I'm seeing, fucking amazing.
Yes.
So we're gonna move on from the online game perspective to another.
Oh my god! Let's talk about some sexy stuff.
Let's talk about sex, people.
No, not sex, but sexy stuff.
Yeah.
Raunchy from the Far East.
But at least when I say let's talk about sex, like somebody can cue in with that song.
No, please don't.
So, anyways, that was an awful joke, and
Yep.
fun.
All right.
What I posted on the site late last week that DOA Extreme 3 will be getting a collector's edition and an English version for Asia. So I just want to show real quick what the collector's edition holds. Because actually no, I can't, because it's slightly not safe for work. I just realized that.
Yeah.
So that's actually up on the website right now, and it has all the lovely packages and things.
Yeah.
Playing cards, posters, mouse that has wrist support. Yeah, and like we all know, DOA is known for their, their ladies.
Well, look at the creator. He's a very special kind of guy.
He likes the ladies.
Yeah.
He's a self-aware pervert. There's pretty much all the word.
That's pretty much exactly what the word we're looking for. So, DOA Extreme being the volleyball spin-off game, we were actually told that DOA Extreme 3, which is supposed to be coming for PS4 and Vita, will not make it over to the US or North America shores, or even outside, or Europe.
Yeah,
pretty much anywhere but Asia. It wasn't going to reach anywhere but Asia because of at that time, no reason. They did say that it was possible, if there was enough fan feedback, that we would see the game come over. That is not the case anymore. Temco Koei Temco, whichever way they want to call their name now.
Yeah, they're like Namco Bandai.
Yeah, they keep switching every couple years. Where'd he go?
He disappeared.
Okay. Oh, there he's back. Okay.
Yeah. I don't know.
They switch every year. But the thing is that they straight up said that, no, this is not going to be the case. We are not looking at a North American release or outside of Asia release. The reasoning that was given was because of how media has changed and the view of overly sexualized characters has been, is now taboo in a way.
But violence is all right.
That's putting the things I'm putting my own spin on the words, of course, but it's pretty much close enough that that's what was happening there.
Pretty much.
Yeah, as far as I guess the opinion that I have on it may or may not be your guys' opinion, just to forewarn, but I think this is a side effect of how just everything has been more or less corrupted by the whole Gamergate scandal, where everybody's just afraid to do whatever for inane reasons because they're going to get shit on by one party or another, depending on what the subject is. So Japan is Japan's just basically avoiding sending those games out to the U.S. now because all those the fans that would buy the game and they know what it is and that's what they want to buy it for. They'll buy it, they'll bring it home and play it. People who look for reasons to fight or complain or whatever go out there and they send this hate mail and basically become cry bullies, and the companies just don't want to deal with that. They're not even from that country, and the best way to avoid it is just to not send their games there. So we get to suffer for that case.
Well, yeah.
This isn't the first thing that's been censored recently.
Yeah, there's been a ton of censorship. This is just one of the more major ones because it's been like little nitpicky things here and there, but it's been escalating. And now Nintendo's escalating censorship left and right on top of that too. I mean, there's a couple things I can agree with, like if a character is underage, she shouldn't be showing half a boob or something. That doesn't make sense, but. Like, there's some characters, they're of age. It's an adult game to begin with. There's no reason for it to be censored, and they censor it anyways.
Let's, just adding a few, just to give a few examples. Fatal Frame 5, that came out earlier this year.
Yeah.
They had sexy bikini costumes that were unlockable. That got changed to a decent Zero Suit Samus suit. Costume and a Zelda costume that did not fit the game at all. Anyway,
I'm fine with the Samus suit.
I was just about to say that I'm well okay with Samus suit, but again, like, what's the thought process behind? Wasn't it already in the game first?
No, it wasn't. It was just
okay.
The re-release or the outside release, but. That was a thing that was what replaced it, and it was just a little weird because, like, it's an M-rated game. Hardly any of the actual content, like the ghosts or anything, was censored. There was some things, but it was very little. And then again, we also moved to, I believe it's Bravely Second.
Yeah, that game had a really weird name. It's hard to remember it, right?
So it's unfortunately I don't remember the exact name. It's escaped the top of my head here.
Bravely Default or something like that.
Yes.
Bravely Default sequel, Bravely Second, where there was a character with a feathered bandana, looked very Native American. That got removed and replaced with a cowboy hat. Like that's any better.
Yeah. We don't want to offend Native Americans. Let's swap a headdress that may or may not be reflective of them for a cowboy costume. You know, the type of people that were out specifically killing them.
Exactly. That's my train of thought on that one. I was this is not good, guys.
It's like replacing the Yamakava character and then putting him in the Nazi symbol armband thing, which they actually do a lot in Japan for some reason. They got a weird fetish for Nazi gear.
Oh, yeah.
The World Access Group, I mean...
Yes, but that doesn't...
History.
History. It's a very bad reason to actually fetishize it.
Oh, it is. It's extremely bad reason. Now, moving on as well, we had Xenoblade Chronicles sequel, Xenoblade X, and that also removed the breast size option when you're creating a character.
Boo!
And we know that is a feature that can sell a game. I mean, look at fucking Saints Row.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
We'll just leave that one there.
Saints Row was notorious for augmenting breast and crotch size.
Saints Row was notorious for not giving a shit.
Yeah. Basically, if they knew it would make somebody mad, they put it in. they were like, they started off as a GTA clone, but obviously they went their own severely ridiculous path.
Well,
But they put whatever they thought was funny or fun, and they just kept shoveling it in there.
if you really look at it, GTA is like Playboy, and Saints Row is like Hustler.
People versus Larry Flint.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. You could have that people versus, the frickin' president.
What? Okay. So yeah, it's just we're being censored with all this stuff, and it's really weird. Like, I'm saying personally, bring the game over. In fact, this actually leads into our next conversation as well. Kotaku actually covered the censorization, or the fact that the game's not getting pulled over. And there was actually a group, the designer of Honey Pop, which I'm sure you guys know of.
I watched Markiplier play it.
Yeah. So it's really, it's a raunchy game. So he offered $1 million to Koei Tecmo to publish the game in North America. And he's hopefully going to get that offer. He's like, let me handle that shit. That was the actual tweet. Let me handle this. I hope that wasn't heard on. But yeah, he did that, and no word yet on if that's actually going to be falling through. But Konami did reach out for a statement, and they didn't get a yet. I'm assuming because of what we're leading into our next conversation to be. But yeah, so I'm wondering if Koei Tecmo will actually do that. If they're going to be like, no, we're not going to publish it because we don't want the heat. And if somebody else wants the heat, they can take it, have fun. My thing is, I think people that do hate DOA for that reason are being just very shallow. Because honestly, I've said this before on the previous podcasts, on one of the previous podcasts, I think before we had our hiatus, that they may be like big-breasted bimbos in the game, but each character has their own job that are super fucking respective.
Well, yeah.
I mean, you have one that's an assassin. Okay, maybe not respective, but she's fucking efficient at her job. You have ninjas. You have Ninja Princess. You have a head of a fucking major global arms fucking position. A super scientist, pro wrestler. The list really goes on, and even the latest one, my new favorite character, Mila. She is a waitress who practices MMA. That is fucking perfect. So I don't understand why people really bitch at that series.
Because people are idiots.
It's always the same argument that it promotes sexism and it promotes objectification. I can't say the word. But the way I see it, the only people who treat them as objects, ironically, are those people pretending that they want to stand on a pedestal about it. It actually occurred to me not too long ago that whenever you're listening to somebody try to preach about those games, nobody calls those characters an object more than those people. Like everybody else, that's it's a game from Japan. Like 90% of the games they have the biggest hits on earth. It's part of a culture thing. I mean, over there it's not news that Japan has really weird fetishes, but I mean that's what we consider weird to us, but it's normal to them, and a lot of people don't realize that. And surprisingly, like when you look at it over the years, like characters have been coming in left and right in all sorts of different shapes and sizes, and they're not pointed out for any of their accolades for it. They always specifically target the ones that most people, specifically teenagers, both male and female, by the way, would consider more visually or sexually attractive. But I mean, like take for example Borderlands 2. Two of the biggest characters in there. One of them was just a little girl, and hopefully nobody found her sexual. And the other one was somebody about 70 times her size. And they were both funny. They both had very unique and different personalities. And they didn't have to slander to anything. They built a character from the ground up and made their personality stand out more than what they looked like. And although a lot of games will rely on sexuality or whatever, to just blame games for that is completely ridiculous and unfair, especially when you consider almost every medium before video games has done the exact same thing, and it's part of human nature. You can't say that any form of sexual attraction in media is wrong, because humans will find something or someone, no matter what size, sexually attractive. Saying that being attracted to someone sexually is wrong is also in itself wrong. There's obviously lines you don't want to cross when it comes to promoting horrible things like violence or whatever. In certain aspects, but even that in our media, we've done it in every single media beforehand, and like I've heard a lot recently is games is just the new hot topic everybody wants to shit on. But before that it was TV, before that it was radio. People used to complain radio was causing people to be violent. What did they what caused World War I? It certainly wasn't radio, it didn't exist yet. What caused all the wars and violence and stuff before that? It wasn't there. People just want to pick whatever is new and foreign to them and blame that, regardless of whatever facts they come up with.
Well, yeah, if people don't understand things, they're going to be like, that's the problem.
Yeah, exactly. And it's been very much the opposite, because as we've been getting more mature with the games, we're growing up with it, the games themselves have gotten more mature. Both in the terms that it's not, this character has big titties. It's more mature and we have way better storytelling, have way better, theming to the games. There's way more heavy, thoughtful games now than there ever were. And most of the people yelling on either side of their bandstands are always the extremists that just want to cherry pick everything. Unfortunately, they're the ones that get all the news for it too. So
I feel like we need captions to show up, like words of wisdom, just right above.
Yeah, I'm really full of that. I'm sorry if I've gone on too long. It's just,
it's
once
cool.
I start ranting, I have a lot on my chest, but I'm a very middle person, and I always try my best to see the sides on both ends, and a lot of the times I can see where they're coming from on each end, but simultaneously I can see why they're wrong on both ends at the same time. It's very rarely are cases one-sided, right or wrong. There's hints of truth on either side, but they're both going about their argument the wrong way, and that's what most controversies always boil down to. They just take one side, and then everybody echo chambers to each direction, and everybody in the middle has to take shit on both ends.
Mm-hmm.
So, with that, let's actually move to the next conversation.
Yeah.
Because I have to kind of wrap this up soon.
I have to go to bed.
Yeah. So, last week we had Kotaku.
Not Konami. They didn't do anything.
Konami didn't do anything this week. No, they didn't do anything. We're good. So,
Leave Konami alone!
But last week, Kotaku's head or editor-in-chief wrote a letter, an open letter, saying that Kotaku had been blacklisted by Bethesda and Ubisoft. Now, this is interesting because this is actually one of the first times that, if not the first time, the biggest time, that somebody has actively called out a company for blacklisting them. Especially in the game industry. Outside, you have that all the time.
It's happened before, but it's been a while since a really big publisher has actually done it.
Now, they said in their release that it was because they leaked out information about Fallout 4 beforehand.
Well,
and they leaked out information about Assassin's Creed Victory, which turned into Syndicate. Now, don't get me wrong, leaks are part of the business, especially of the advertisement world, or the news world. People get leaked information from all over the place, and they end up. Some people, yes, they do get blacklisted. That causes a problem slightly. Now, usually, most of the time, when a company blacklists another company, it's good procedure that they will unblock them after a little bit and, say, oh, hey, you learned your lesson. Don't mess with us.
Or at the very least, tell them why.
Yeah, or at least tell them why. So far, we haven't been told exactly if this is the case, if Bethesda and Ubisoft does or has indeed blacklisted them, or if, what the exact reason. I say and or if because we don't know exactly all the details of what's happening.
mm,
We just have a one-sided argument at the moment.
Yeah, because the other side hasn't responded yet, so you can't make a full assumption.
Yeah.
Although I can hear myself, by the way. Somebody's got their mic up loud.
So here's the big problem. We have one side, being Kotaku, saying that they are blacklisted for this specific reason, when this sort of thing is pretty much normal for the industry. That if somebody does leak out information to a news source, they are going to process that. Now, most of the time, it does get filed under rumors. Like, I updated our policy on this sort of information, that if we put any information that's a possible leak, we will put in as rumor until it has been 100% confirmed by the developer.
yeah.
So the rumors out there, this is what's happening, but it is just a rumor. We don't know. We don't have the full 100%.
Yeah, it's not being confirmed.
In my time of reading Kotaku, I haven't hardly ever seen a rumor tag get thrown up.
Mm.
Especially if it was in regards to a leak. So it does make sense that, the developers will be pissed about this. The problem is, I don't necessarily believe that's what got them blocked. I have to say this because it's something about pissing off people. It's just, there's something about it that Kotaku does so fucking well.
That's their jam.
Well, the thing is, let's look at. I'm going to take Ubisoft specifically because I am a fan of Ubisoft, so this is a little biased when it comes to this. I have to say, I have to admit that right out. Mind you, if they produced a bad game like Unity, I will call them out on their shit.
Wait a minute. They did fix Unity. It only took a year.
Yeah,
They finally patched it.
It only took a year, but yes, okay, sure.
It's playable.
But I'm going to take the shit that they had to deal with. Let's look at Far Cry 4. Describe the cover of Far Cry 4. for me?
It was offensive putting the white man down.
Other way around. It was you were putting
What?
the Asian guy down. It was the white guy with his hand over an Asian guy.
Pagan Min wasn't white.
That's the point. That's the whole point right there that I wanted to make. Pagan Min is not white. The cover art doesn't accentuate that.
And they didn't. Who is the guy with the grenade in his hand?
It wasn't AJ, I can tell you that.
I think it was
AJ's also Asian, so.
I think it was just one of his peons.
Yeah, it was one of the peons.
He's like, hold the damn grenade.
Hold the damn grenade, and that was my best Troy Baker impression. It sucked.
He was great at Pagan, but I wish they would have had more Pagan.
They should have had more Pagan in the game.
Yeah, he should have been like.
We'll leave that for another conversation. But yeah, they took that cover and ran a very hurtful campaign against Far Cry 4 until Ubisoft was like, wait, Pagan isn't white. What the hell are you guys saying? And like a lot of people did defend Ubisoft on that, and a lot of people jumped to the bandwagon of it's a white guy holding down an Asian, or keeping the Asian down.
The cover made sense.
In the game, like in a game like Far Cry, where the bad guy is fucking twisted, and he's like the main point of the game, then yes, the cover makes sense, even if it was the opposite way around.
Well, and he's the dictator.
Exactly. Like, it makes sense as of a storyline.
So I could see if somebody could have if they knew nothing about the game, could have mistook it as a white guy with a tan because Pagan Min's hair was dyed platinum blonde. But that's because he was specifically designed that he mimics Western style in a very non-Western area. So that's why it looks a little off. But I can see why somebody would make that guess. But I think that the biggest problem is that they just made the assumption and ran with it, and it gave Ubisoft bad PR for no reason at all.
Now, also moving with Unity. Unity had, of course, the big fiasco of no playable female character. Now,
I was just going to say, broken
that was something that they ran with. Admit that was something that some people ran with, including GameSpot and Polygon as well. But Kotaku seemed to had really pushed that issue. They really went with it and pretty much gave a super negative remark to the game. Sadly, that one I do have to go to Ubisoft on. They could have handled better because the problem is they also tried to do the same thing with Rockstar when Halo 5 came out. That was actually an article on, I believe, on Kotaku. I believe I read it there. I'm not 100% sure, so don't quote me exactly.
It was it came off as very clickbaity at the expense of the developer.
Yeah.
It didn't need to be pointed out because it was already a big mess on its own. But it's just the way it was done that was pretty shady, and I don't think they even waited for a reply. They just pushed it out.
It felt like it was more of an attack rather than reporting, is what it felt like.
It was shady.
Yeah, extremely shady.
But that's them.
That's the thing. That's what it's come to, is that's their style of writing. So I think what happened is with Victory, they just kind of, or Syndicate, they just kind of went, no, last straw. We're not handling anything from Kotaku.
Yeah.
And Bethesda, I'm sure there's a few things that they've done with Bethesda that I can't think of at the moment off the top of my head.
My theory, at least initially, before we even discuss this, my theory, it was mostly regarding the leaks, is that Kotaku's very good at finding leaks, And I think that might be the businesses trying to protect themselves because, like, I mean, Bethesda did really good at hiding most of the details for Fallout 4 right up until the end, but
Yeah.
Ubisoft is like Swiss cheese. They'll leak everything constantly, and I think they're starting to work on pinpointing who leaks the most right away. And
Exactly.
that starts to narrow down. Okay, so these guys got contacts with our company that we don't know about. If we wall off them, then maybe we could start plugging up some of the leaks.
Pretty much.
And if you report every single leak that comes out with like no respect at all for the developer, I mean, sometimes some things are just better left unsaid, especially if it's story spoiling. Like, if you're trying to, like, say, hey, Fallout 4 is going to be in Boston, that's one thing. It doesn't really tell you much, it just gives you a locale, that's fine. But if you say, hey, Fallout 4, you're going to be looking for your son, and you can only play a certain this and that, well, that starts to really break down the game before they were ready to talk about it. And that I can understand why,
Well, yeah.
most companies want to stomp on that, because preserving a surprise is still important to a video game, because whether people admit it or not, a lot of games, at least with those companies, are very heavily story-based, and it matters.
Well, yeah, and Bethesda did not say anything about the story whatsoever.
Yeah.
Yeah, they try to keep everything under wrap as much as possible.
And which is it's a good thing.
Now, my thing is, now that they've released this this statement, do you think that they are ever going to get unblacklisted?
If they do, it's going to be a long time.
Yeah.
I can't see. In a way, personally, I'm like, there's two ways to me that you can handle a blacklist. One is by, okay, we're blacklisted. We apologize for the situation, and we hope to hear back from you soon.
Yeah, be nice and courteous about it, not a complete bunch of dicks.
Yeah, exactly, because they're not owed by those companies for information.
No. So you just go, okay, whatever, that's fine. We'll still review your game. We'll just purchase the picture, and then come back. Like that's what. Well, right now we do purchase our games for our reviews. We've had one review copy come in for our site.
But we still buy stuff.
Yeah, we still buy the games and then we review them later. So it happens. Now with this, like I said, the one thing is to take it and leave it alone, and then the other thing is to just
be complete dicks.
The other way is to just
throw a fit.
No, sorry, there's only one way to handle it. You just leave it alone. You come back to it later. Let cooler heads prevail.
Yeah, they're not going to do that.
It really did seem like they were just pissing a fit when they kind of put two and two together and realized they weren't getting anything back.
Really, that's what it was. I mean, it just felt like that. The whole article even kind of felt very clickbait.
Like I can understand some points he was making were more or less valid for a stance where if you're gonna act like an actual journalistic for video game publication, when big news comes around, obviously you want to publish it, but I think
I'm not gonna say everything he said off that was wrong, because he does hit a few good points. Like, yes, when something comes along our way, we're going to publish it. If even if it ends up being damaging, it's news, we have to publish.
Yeah, I think part of the problem is it's how it's done. Like, if it's something that's going to be damaging to a company, make sure it's not a rumor first. Or if it is, just say, hey, there's a potential rumor floating about. Say where that rumor is coming from, at least.
If it is,
try to cover your ass a bit, so it doesn't seem like you just pulled the information out of nowheres, or it doesn't seem like you have very inside sources and you're leaking what's supposed to be NDA stuff. Which is another thing. Like, if you're going to leak everything about a company, why would they trust you with an NDA for a review copy?
Well, yeah.
Is what the biggest part boils down to.
More or less, yeah. Now, like I was saying, the big part here is that, like, what he said in this case was that, like, the blacklist is a real thing. That's the thing that he really felt like he was trying to push across at one point, and then
kind of went on a tangent after.
Kind of went on the tangent. But yes, the blacklist is a real thing that people don't talk enough about it, mainly because a lot of people just don't want to talk about it. If it doesn't happen, well, you let cooler heads prevail and then move on. If it ends up that, well, the other thing that they were talking about is, yes, if shit happens, we're going to report it. It's just, common sense on that.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much everything on that. It's just, I feel like this is not going to turn out well for them.
Mm-mm.
Then again, this sort of thing doesn't turn out well for them anyways, because look at Gawker, the parent company.
The parent
Are they
company
still in a lawsuit with Quentin Tarantino at the moment?
Yeah, Gawker is like significantly worse when it comes to stuff like that, just because they're not really journalists. They just look for whatever can get the most clicks, and that's it. They don't really care about what they're doing their things on. It's basically a BuzzFeed for video games.
Yeah.
Pretty much. It's just the thing is, like, we'll use the one example that I have for Gawker here. When Hateful Eight was said to be coming out, they leaked the fucking Quentin Tarantino script.
Mm-hmm.
And he threatened to not make that movie because that came out and sued them. I don't know the results of that lawsuit at the moment here, but this is that's been ongoing. So now we're actually getting Hateful Eight, but at what cost?
Yeah.
And that's the kind of thing. That's the same thing that falls under this, is that people are already weary of journalists. Like, you have to be very careful about what you're doing. That's why when I said, as you guys remember, when everybody signed up with us, I said we're not covering specific stuff like Gamergate and shit like that. I don't want that on the site. It's too convoluted, too messy of an issue. We're going to just let that happen. We're going to focus on what we think is important, which is
the awesome stuff, not
the awesome stuff. And that's what we do. That's Game It All.
Yeah, we go, oh, this shit is awesome.
So that's actually where I'm going to leave that conversation. There's a lot more I wanted to say about it personally, but it's just so...
It's a very deep topic because it's been going for such a long time.
It is. It's been going on for such a long time that it's just ridiculous.
Basically, just have some sense in your judgment. If you're writing about a topic, think about what who it's going to affect with the way you're writing it. If it's something bad that a company did, then stay on point. Don't add your agenda to the issue, which is something they were starting to do a lot recently. I don't know if that's something they did in the past. I only started reading Kotaku when I joined Game It All, but I do get the sense that some of the articles are a tad too agenda based to get clicks. If you're going to report something, that they're doing good with the game, then just talk about that. Don't add in extra flavoring or fluff if it's not necessary.
Exactly.
Well, they're trying to be a tabloid.
Yeah, exactly, and that's what's ruining their reputation, because tabloids are absolute garbage in every medium that they're in. It's actual, like, it's just a side fact. Actual tabloids are constantly sued all the time for all the stuff that they post, but they still make so much money from idiots buying in whatever they want because clickbaiting works. Same thing with newspapers or whatever at the shopping mall. They make so much money lying about everybody that they still make a profit over all the lawsuits they get, even if they lose most of them.
Oh, yeah.
So
good.
So we're gonna just gonna move on to the last segment of the show here. New games coming out next week. So first of which we have Chivalry: Medieval Warfare for PS4 and Xbox One. That is coming out December 1st. Same with Just Cause 3, Tom Clancy's Siege, and FIM Speedway Grand Prix 15.
Oh, isn't Devil's Third also coming out?
That is on the 11th, so the week after, our next
I thought it was next week.
So next one we have is December 3rd, Dragon Quest Heroes, the Digital Slime Edition, which is available on Steam. And finally for Wii U, the big RPG hit, Xenoblade Chronicles X. And also on the 7th, which is a little out of the release dates, but we'll just go with it anyways. Helldivers will be coming to PC on December 7th.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, fucking awesome week right there. Just Cause 3, I'm very looking forward to that. Actually, going to mention something. We do have a new show coming up, new broadcast show called Noobs Play. Now, Noobs Play revolves around my wife, whose alias is going to go by Kate Ghosty, and we have our new member, Metal Mike. He's going to join us for that. The thing is, they do play video games, but they usually stick to a specific genre. So
they're more or less, at least from what I can tell, they're very casual or very specific to one genre.
Yeah, very casual.
Yeah.
One genre. And Kate usually goes through and plays. When she plays a game, she takes one game and plays through it. So she becomes like amazing at that one. But
she don't flip flop from one thing to another.
I'm going to start flip flopping her to one thing to another from this point.
Yeah,
so,
well, we flip flop all the time.
I am getting Just Cause 3 for this for the first episode, which will be coming out very soon. I'll have an actual release date for that. Now, and I'll be explaining the rules in the future podcast, but that is going to be our start. Noobs Play Just Cause 3. It's going to be a competition match for this one, just to get things started. We're going to be hosting that directly through YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
So it'll be PS4 broadcasting directly to YouTube, and I can't wait for it. It's going to be great. What do you think? What do you guys pick? What's your pick of this week?
What do you mean pick?
What game do you think is going to be amazing?
Fallout. I've been playing it every day nonstop.
Yeah, it's still Fallout. It's still Fallout. I'm sorry. I'm almost done.
Because I'm actually following the rules, you fuckers.
I'm almost done my first playthrough. I'm almost done. Then I'm going to be starting my second play. Well,
I still haven't reached Diamond City.
And then next week I'm playing Witcher. I'm going to start playing Witcher.
Good.
So we could get ready for Game of the Year. And I'm also playing Battlefield Hardline to get ready for Shooter also.
So, yeah, speaking of which, Game of the Year, the list will actually end for December 11th.
Yes.
So any games after December 11th are not going to be eligible for our Game of the Year.
And December 11th, I am doing a live show from your couch.
Awesome, awesome. That's Friday?
Yeah. That weekend I'm going to be extremely drunk, so I'm not going to be very productive.
That's cool. That's cool.
That's fine.
So yeah, we'll be getting.
We're as drunk as Pino was that last time.
Pretty
No,
much.
I will be non-functional. It's a staff party. I hate it. Almost everybody there, so I'm just gonna drink until I can't function, and then go.
Sounds good. Starting next week, same time, same bat time,
No.
that channel. Except it's going to be on Friday.
Yeah.
That way, most people with normal work schedules will actually be able to stay up and watch us.
That's
You got it.
honestly, we probably should have thought of that at the beginning, but I know you've said stuff about it, but
yeah, it's just
it worked out better to be on Thursdays than Friday for some reason.
I don't know. I was unemployed, so it didn't matter.
Yeah.
And me and Luke have virtually opposite work schedules, where he works nights and I work days, so it's hard to manage.
So, and I'm going to go to Twitch. I think I'm going to play some Fallout on Twitch.
I will go to bed.
I will go to Fallout
That is being
tomorrow
bad.
and
That is
finish
fucking work.
my game.
Anyways, for GameItAll.com, I'm Lucas Grimm.
Yeah, what up? I'm Pino25.
I'm kawaii as fuck. I'm Meddlers.
What?
Don't forget to like,
Check.
subscribe, and check out our social media pages in the description below.
Yeah, leave a comment.
Leave a comment. Let us know how stupid we are. Let us know what you think about the Konami issue. Damn it! The Taku issue.
Konami did not.
The years should be. I mean, come on, talk to us, people.
Konami didn't do anything.
I honestly thought you said communists, so I was like, what?
Let us know about the communist issues that's affecting the nuclear wasteland.
There's no communists.
Don't joke about that. That's a very real threat right now.
Possible. You never know.
There was no communists in the wasteland.
Not
There's
BoardGameItAll.com. Thank you for watching. You guys have a great night.
ghouls and super mutants.